Big news in the crypto world this morning. Sam Altman-backed company World will start trading on the NASDAQ on Thursday. The biometric company verifies identities using an eye scanning device called the Orb in exchange for cryptocurrency called Worldcoin. Joining us right now is Dan Ives, Wedbush Securities Global Head of Technology Research, a senior analyst. He's also now chairman of 8Co Holdings, which is the treasury company for World. So he's got a couple of different hats he's wearing this morning. Dan, for those who don't understand all of this, and maybe even thinking to themselves, is their eye scan going to be used in some kind of other crazy way? Explain it all for us.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd say in this AI revolution, when you think about everything going on in terms of the trillions being spent, the biggest thing missing is identification, authentication. And, you know, what Sam and Alex and the team have built at World, when you think about these orbs, the iris scanning, in my opinion, this is going to be the de facto standard. When we think about separating from bots, identifying humans, and ultimately, this is really more of an infrastructure play. It's really the intersection of AI and crypto. That's why I'm so excited, you know, as taking this role as chairman, given my passion for AI and what I think the role that World's going to play.
So just so I understand it, is it a trade? I mean, some people say you're trade. Explain it to us. I'm giving over my iris or whatever in exchange for currency. Is that how this works?
Yeah, essentially. But when you think about it from a security perspective, I believe it's the most secure platform there is in the world relative to, you know, the zero knowledge trust and the way that this has actually been built. You know, I've done the scans myself, and you think about today, 15 million have actually gone down this path, and I believe it's going to be on a path to 100 million and more, because in the future, in the world of AI, I think a ceiling ultimately on AI growth, I mean, about all the LLMs and all the trillions being spent in data centers, is going to be authentication, identification. And that's why we're so passionate, you know, in terms of, you know, this treasury and really focused on World. It's everything Sam and the team has built, and that's why I'm here.
Dan, explain this. I always thought that if there was a product like this that would win the day, that either Apple or maybe Google or somebody else like that could win in the context of, I've got my camera on my phone, I've got LiDAR on the phone, all of the other, I don't know if I have LiDAR on the phone, but I have, you know, they can do different things to capture things on my face. I would have thought that would win, no?
Yeah, I think in the past, yes, but in the future, no. And I think, you know, I think Sam and the team, they saw the future, because as we go toward robots and you go toward more and more bots, especially in this AI world, that's something that the only true way in terms of identification, authenticate is going to be iris scan. Now, I believe more and more tech platforms are ultimately going to adopt this, and that's why we're doing this now, because this is still, I kind of view where this is almost where NVIDIA was in 2022, Palantir 2022, relative to as we go into this authentication layer of AI. And that's why I'm just so excited, as someone that's so passionate as a tech analyst, this intersection of AI and crypto.
One other thing, and then I want to talk about Tesla and some other issues that are in the headlines this morning. In terms of security, you know, everyone thinks their fingerprint is very valuable, and everyone thinks their iris print is very valuable. What's the chance, and what are the, you know, if you were to look out in your crystal ball or your orb and say, what is the real risk here? It is what?
I mean, I'd say it's basically zero, close to zero, relative to just when you look at the crypto nature and the blockchain and the way that they've actually structured the orb and the product and the iris scan. And that's why I would believe it's actually the safest one out there. And in the future of AI, this is going to become the de facto standard when it comes to identification. I think they skated to where the puck's going. Now you're going to see more and more signing up for this, and then it creates a network effect. And that's why we're so excited in terms of making this bet on World.
Okay, Dan, separately, let's talk Tesla, because you and I have talked Tesla a lot. So curious what your reaction was to this package that Robin Denholm talked to us about on Friday on the broadcast. Obviously, Elon Musk, if he hits all of these metrics, could be paid as much as $1 trillion.
the most important asset for Tesla is Musk. And the reality is, in this AI world, Elon staying on and happy is so important in this autonomous and robotics world. And I believe it's exactly what investors wanted to hear. I ultimately believe now that path toward XAI in terms of more and more ownership, as well as ultimately getting to 25% voting control. Because I think for Musk, it comes down to the trillions that he's going to create over the future. I think this is a no-brainer move of the board.
What do you make of those who critique this and say, you know what, he's as incentivized as anyone. He's at the company. He has a huge stake in the company. He's the face of the company. He's not going to leave the company. He's not going to, not focus on this company. What do you think of that?
Yeah, look, I understand that, but I think the reality is that, Elon's thinking about the future when it comes to XAI, when it comes to autonomous, when it comes to Optimus, and he needs to make sure that he has control of that wheel. Of course, there's the financial incentive, but I think more and more it's really also about the voting control as that ramps up. And this is an AI arms race. And Robin, Tesla board know that they need Musk. Musk right now is wartime CEO when it comes to AI. And that's why I believe, look, autonomous alone is worth $1 trillion. And as we all had, just like what we're talking about with Altman, this arms race, Tesla needs Musk. And I think Musk needs Tesla.
But Dan, very quickly, you don't think the goals that he has to hit are crazy then? If you think autonomous alone is worth $1 trillion, if you wrap in AI on that, these seem like potentially achievable goals if he can deliver on all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Becca, I'd say I think these are achievable goals, and I think the street continues to massively underestimate what Tesla's going to look like over the next 3, 5, 7 years.